Hello，大家好啦，咁我係 Aaron，我就係 HoCHK 嘅其中一位發起人啦。咁首先咧，咁好多謝各位出席我哋今日嘅webinar。咁我哋今日咧就好高興亦能夠邀請到Ching 同埋Minnie 去同我哋做一個 sharing 嘅。咁佢哋咧兩位咧都係中學生啦。咁佢哋就最近就有一個 project 就係關於 AI 嘅 code in。咁佢哋最近就創立咗呢一個organisation 啦。咁佢哋今日就會同我哋分享。咁佢哋最近都會有一個比賽啦。咁就係為期7個禮拜嘅。咁同埋佢哋都會想 promote 呢個 AI 嘅呢一樣嘢啦。係啦。咁我哋將個時間交俾佢哋。
Okay, thank you. So 其實咁我哋今日就會用英文嚟講㗎啦。咁 okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to our sharing. So let me just share our screen. Yes. So today we'll be introducing to you about our registering nonprofit called AI Code-In. So it was founded with the objective of enhancing the AI literacy of students around the world. So today we'll firstly talk a little about what is AI, share a bit about our experiences in AI, and a project that we collaborated on, which is an AI project, and finally about some initiatives and as well as opportunities offered through AI Code-In. So my name is Ching Lam, and
I'm Minnie Chan.
Yes.
AI has come a lot since Alan Turing first proposed the imitation game. Well, since then, AI has become from just a dream to reality. Now, when you turn on your web browser, Google is suggesting the best ads using AI, YouTube is suggesting the best videos using AI, Amazon is suggesting the best products using AI. AI is all around us. And in the near future, more and more applications in AI will come. For example, self-driving cars or some kind of robots that use AI to help you do a lot of stuff. So as youngsters in this age, we have to work hard to catch up with this change and learn more about AI.
Yes. So now that you know a bit about AI, I'm sure a lot of you guys here know how to program. So programming is actually essential in AI because to create an AI, you often program with Python, Swift, and JavaScript, and more languages such as Julia. And so you guys already have a head start. And so we hope to, so now we will talk a little about our experiences, how we got into AI. And so that through this little sharing, we hope to convey the message that as long as you're interested, anyone can get started with AI. And it's not an exclusive thing. It's actually welcoming to everyone. So I guess I'll talk a little about my story first. I got into AI because I joined this Stanford professor's seminar held at HoCHK, and she talked about virtual assistants as well as open source. And I was already interested in technology, so that immediately got my attention, so I attended. And during the sharing, she talked about this new concept called artificial intelligence, and it wasn't as mainstream back then, so I was immediately intrigued. So I started searching about AI online and stumbled across some courses such as the deep learning.ai specialization. So I then proceeded to self-study, and eventually I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Ray, who introduced me to so many opportunities at the CityU Apps Lab. And since then, I've been trying to hone my my skills since.
For me, I just randomly came across a Stanford AI course on Coursera, an online platform for learning different things. Back then, I only knew how to call AI APIs, but then in that course, we could learn about the math behind it, and I've always liked to know more about the behind-the-scenes workings of technology. That's why I got into AI. Now I've been using AI in some of my app-making projects, and I also got to know Dr. Ray through a CityU AI course, which uses AI to recognize different Pokemon. And now I'm also helping out in an AI module in the CityU summer school.
Right, so I hope that you guys, through our experiences, you guys can know that it's actually very easy to get into AI. So after we've learned some AI skills, we've actually tried to implement them in our lives. And so we've collaborated on this project called Maestro.ai. It's a virtual AI Tai Chi tutor, and it solves some societal issues of Hong Kong. So here is our logo. And so we noticed that as technology develops in Hong Kong, elderly in society are often left behind in this digital trend. And so as youngsters increasingly turn to technology for work and play, elderly become more and more isolated, which widens the intergenerational communication gap. So in Hong Kong alone, and we discovered that an alarming 10% of elderly suffer from depression, which leads to a suicide rate, an elderly suicide rate, which triples the citywide population average of other age groups. And with like aging populations going on worldwide, especially in cities like Tokyo and Hong Kong, we wanted to change all of this with Maestro. So this is a solution which tries to alleviate some societal issues.
We hope that through gamifying and revitalizing Tai Chi and ancient Chinese arts into an interactive mobile game, more people can get into contact with Tai Chi. It doesn't have to be for the elderly, or it doesn't just have to be for the young. Everyone should be able to contact Tai Chi through our app. We used an AI to create AI Tai Chi tutor with human pose estimation. Our app will automatically be comparing the poses of our users with the poses of Tai Chi masters and provide real-time feedback so that our users can practice proper Tai Chi with a good posture to minimize risks and maximize rewards.
Yes. So here's a short demo of Maestro in action. So as you can see, there are some dots and lines in the person's body, and these actually denote the joints and limbs of the person. So this is actually what we call a human pose skeleton. And this is, so by comparing the human pose skeletons of an amateur versus a master, we can know exactly how accurate someone's Tai Chi moves are. So here, actually, apart from that last demo, Minnie actually tried out the Maestro Tai Chi tutor. Let's see how she did. Yes, so as you can see, there are some real-time feedback so for example, here, this means that her right ankle isn't exactly in the right position, and her head is, the position of her head can be improved. And so this is actually cut short. The real tutorial is longer. So as you can see, she scored 50 out of 100 marks, which means that perhaps her gestures can be more correct. And so as you can see through Maestro, what we've done is implemented and our AI skills, which we've learned from Coursera and various sources, we've implemented these skills in real life and tried to make a solution to solve some societal issues and try to better our society. So we hope that through the courses and as well as opportunities offered by AI coding, everyone can learn to can come away with more AI technical skills and eventually be knowledgeable enough to perhaps create something that can solve some real life issues. So now let's move on to AI coding.
Our vision and mission is to arouse student interest in AI by providing project collaboration opportunities with industry professionals. We understand that as AI learners, that there are many hardships in learning AI. So for beginners, they might not know how to start out, or for intermediate learners, you probably need help in coming up with your first project idea, or you don't know what the industry is doing. So through AI Code-In, we hope to join beginners, masters, and industry together so that everyone can learn the most.
Yes, so AI coding is actually welcome to everyone. So and so we actually offer two main initiatives. Firstly, it would be our online AI tutorials, workshops, and seminars. So we'll be inviting industry professionals as well as some academic researchers to give lectures on some AI conference papers or some AI topics. And secondly, it would be our AI Code-In Global Contest for middle and high school students around the world. So they will actually receive mentorship to work on some industry-related tasks. So and Now, let's talk a little about the structure of AI coding, the contest.
Our participants are split into 3 parts. Firstly, there are the organizations. These are the AI organizations, including libraries or different programming languages. They'll be creating and assigning AI tasks for students. They can designate their own mentors or request mentors from us to help out the students. They'll engage students in organization work through GitHub and connect with future developers and maintainers.
So yes, so in terms of some tasks that organizations would possibly put out, so we were actually inspired to create AI coding by my experience in a similar competition called Google Coding, which was very sadly discontinued this year. So I actually learned a lot from that contest, so I would love to spread this opportunity and sustain it for everyone who might be interested in technology. So an example of a task that the Julia programming language would offer would be creating a 2-player hangman game in Julia, writing a blog post about a new approach to solving differential equations using neural networks, as well as implementing second-order ordinary differential equation solvers. So these are actually tasks that I've done in Julia. So I'll give a short demo of some tasks that I've done. For example, for HoCHK Volterra. So as you can see here, I define a coupled ODE. Yes, it's a first-order nonlinear coupled differential equations. So these equations actually describe the behavior of a predator-prey system over time, like the populations and stuff. And so as you can see, in Julia, I define the ODEs, and then I define a convolutional neural network here, and I use the solver to try to use the neural network to solve this system of the ordinary differential equations. And so I completed these tasks with minimal differential equations knowledge, and this was only possible because of the wonderful mentorship offered by Google Coding. If I can just share my screen. Yes. So we hope to emulate this via our initiative AI Coding by offering similar levels of mentorship and collaborating with these awesome open source libraries. So apart from the Julia programming language, we're also reaching out to NumPy and SciPy as a mentor organization. So in NumPy and SciPy, some of their possible tasks for our participants would be GitHub issues and pull requests. So here's a link that demonstrates some of their issues. And they include such as implementing np.truncate for complex numbers and etc. So these tasks actually range from beginner level to more advanced.
They're the mentors, which will be assisting organizations in helping students out. They'll be teaching AI concepts and common industry practices to our students and reviewing student task submissions. Mentors of the same organization will work together.
Free to join, as well as exposure to industry needs. So what this means is that we compared ourselves to similar competitions out there, such as Technovation and Sharpest Minds, and we see that for example, in Technovation, you need to find your own mentors, and not everyone has access to the same awesome mentors. Whereas in AI Coding, we provide these mentors for everyone through our organizations. So how it works is that, for example, we invite the Julia programming language, and they will assign some mentors to help out. For example, they will assign 10 mentors, and then the mentors will guide the students. So the students, if they encounter any difficulties in completing their tasks, they can reach out directly to the mentors via our Slack channel, which we will send out the link later, and they can get advice on how best to proceed. And also, our competition is free to join for everyone around the world who is eligible, middle and high school students. And this cannot be said for a lot of competitions, such as ICANN and the Geneva exhibitions. They're all quite expensive. So our competition is very accessible to everyone. And we also expose our students to industry needs and best practices, because what the projects that they're working on are actually the concrete issues and challenges encountered by these AI libraries, which are used readily in the industry. So they will actually work on projects and issues that will have an impact in the real world and the industry. This is very unique across different competitions, and so we hope that this will appeal to you guys to join.
We have already recruited many organizations, including the Julia programming language, FluxML, SciML. Tentatively, we are we're talking to NumPy and SciPy, and they are excited to join us as well. In terms of students, we already have 120 and more students in our Slack channel, and the numbers are growing every day. Please join our Slack channel, as we will be announcing the newest news and updating our timeline there.
We'll send out the link of this Slack channel again in the chat later.
So how can you make a difference? If you're an investor or philanthropist, we'll be delighted to have you help out with financial support for our competition awards. And if you're an educator, promoting AI with students would do them a lot of good, and also letting your students learn more through participating in AI Code In. If you're the head of an AI organization or library, you could join us as a mentoring organization to educate the next generation of AI engineers and connect with them. Finally, if you're a student, take initiative to learn about AI with online materials all around. And you can also broaden your horizon by joining our competition.
Yes, so this actually wraps up the main part of our presentation. So now we'll briefly give you a short tour of our website, which contains a lot of information about our organization as well as our competition. So as you can see, our motto is building futures in AI. Maybe I should send out these links really quickly. I'll send them out. Maybe Minnie, can you send out the website as well as the Slack link? Thanks. So as you can see, this contains information about how to register. So if you are a student participant, you can click this link and it'll lead to a Google form. And in the Google form, we will also have the Slack link. And if you're an organization eager to help educate people about AI, you can join here. And here is the mentor sign up. And this is some information about the structure of our contest. And here we talk about the eligibility. And finally, the timeline. This is tentative. It's subject to a lot of changes, but tentatively the competition will start on September the 10th, which is quite soon. So please do join ASAP to know more about our competition. So now here's the Slack channel. Please do join to receive the most up-to-date information about AI Code In. And lastly, you can also reach us at this email, as well as on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, as well as our YouTube channel, which is where we'll be posting some AI tutorials, seminars, and webinars later. Moreover, you can also fund us and sponsor us so that we can make AI education more accessible and more rewarding to people around the world. So this is the end of our presentation. So please feel free to ask us any questions about anything relating to AI or even AI coding. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much for the sharing from Ching and Minnie. So please feel free to type your question in the chat room so we can pass it to the speaker. So maybe can you tell us more about like your personal experience in coding? Like why do you start to code? Yeah. Like both of you maybe?
Cecile likes to start first.
Really? I started to code was I actually started because I wanted to gain access to this software, which was not accessible on a particular network that I routinely use. So I started to get educated about VPNs and proxies and stuff. And that really led me to different aspects of technology. And eventually, I signed up for the school programming team, which is where everything started for me.
Oh, for me, I just started out in the school programming team, and I did a lot of competitive programming on the HoCHK Judge as well as Code Forces. And then a lot of programming languages I just randomly came across and started to pick up. For example, like Haskell or Lisp. And then actually I started learning NumPy and SciPy because of the Coursera course. So my programming experience is just kind of um, disconnected, to be honest. We also
Okay.
have a question in the chat room, right?
Yeah. So, what do you think about the long-term vision of AI coding, and what do you want to achieve? Yeah.
Yes. Maybe I'll take this first. So the long-term aim is to enhance the AI literacy of students around the world. So what this means is that we've observed that a lot of teenagers our age are fairly ignorant of AI, so they might not even know what it stands for. Like when I say AI, they literally do not know, and not to mention knowing how to program. Like that's very rare for people to know how to program, and this is a problem, especially in this age where AI is increasingly taking over various aspects of our daily lives, including jobs and routines. And so we feel that it's very crucial for students to know about AI and to get involved in this movement. So we hope that through our initiatives we can educate people. We know that not everyone can learn to program AIs, but we hope that people at least are conscious of
And also, we noticed that a lot of AI competitions right now are just on personal projects. But we hope that through AI Code In, students in AI can actually connect with the actual industry. For example,
so I think one of the barriers to learning AI well is, as Minnie just mentioned, would be there's this gap between what you learn and what the industry actually needs. We don't know that much about the industry, but from what we've seen, for example, people would be learning. So, for example, people would be learning AI via, say, MIT App Inventor, like that platform, and using APIs. And whereas if you want to implement AI in real life and make some applications, you need to rely on other frameworks such as PyTorch, NumPy, SciPy, TensorFlow. So we see that there's this gap. So we hope to bridge this gap by introducing students to these industry professionals and open source library maintainers, so that they can directly learn from these professionals and come away from our program with some actually practical skills.
How about, there's a question from the YouTube. So from Brian, your timeline is quite tight, and how many students do you hope to get to be successful in your eyes? And are them team or individual efforts?
we now aim to get at least 200 participants, and we think it's quite possible as the number of people in our Slack channel have been increasing these days already. We think we will reach our goal soon, and we'll reach our goal even sooner if you would also join. Participants join as individuals. Even though there will be many participants in one organization, they can work as a team, but then they'll be judged on an individual basis.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, so from Dr. Ray again, in terms of this 200 people, are they mostly K-12 Hong Kong students or international students?
We have had signups from all around the world. We haven't done the exact, benchmarking, but we have signups from, say, India, the US, a lot of states, and I think Korea, Thailand, and definitely Hong Kong, and just all over the world. And it's pretty exciting for us.
So if you'd also like to have know more people from around the world, you can actually join us to like know more people.
Yes. In our Slack, it's actually a community of AI learners. It's not only for the competition, it's for everyone who's interested in AI and would like to connect. Everyone can join. It's free for all.
Yeah, okay, great. So there's another question from Zara again. So what is the major challenge for you both as co-founder to set it up and now overcome it, and how to overcome? Yeah.
Minnie, do you want to take this?
Okay. Well, a major challenge would probably be promoting our competition, probably. But then Dr. Ray helps us a lot by organizing this seminar. And also, we've reached out to many different organizations in Hong Kong and worldwide. For example, Repo.it, commonly used online IDE. And we've also asked some different Hong Kong um, companies, for example, Microsoft Hong Kong, and they have also been giving us thumbs up in our project.
Yes. And also, it's pretty hard to find mentor organizations because of the time and effort that mentors need to dedicate to guiding our students. So it's been challenging, but we have had quite a bit of success with, say, the Julia programming language, FlexML, SciML, and etc.
Yep. So we have a question from Leslie from Microsoft. Could you share a bit of what type of activities, like training or workshop, that can benefit the participant in your plan?
Yes. So training. So we would love to work with Microsoft to. So for example, before people, as suggested earlier, so before the participants actually join our competition, perhaps some Microsoft courses could be a prerequisite so that they can gain some foundational knowledge before they head into such a challenging and exciting competition. And also, throughout the contest, we'll be having webinars of general AI concepts, as well such as the basics of Python, Julia, and etc. And even beyond the contest, we'll have sharings and seminars from various industry professionals as well as professors. Lastly, we will also make a curriculum, work with people to make a curriculum and tailor make some courses for our participants.
And of course, our participants can always ask for help from their mentors and from other participants as well.
Yeah. So a question from the YouTube as well from Brian. How much math do you think the kids need, and what age do you think is the sweet spot? Yep.
Well, we don't really have any prerequisites for our participants. Different participants can pick up different skills during our competition. For example, we hope that they could learn about the basics of differentiation through our course, but it doesn't really matter that much. So as long as you have a passion for it, it'll be fine. And if you have any issues, we'll be delighted to help you out and provide you with a suitable assistance so that you can actually catch up with the events going on.
And because of all these libraries, actually some of the maths and behind AI is kind of abstracted away. So for example, in backpropagation, there's a lot of chain rule and differentiation involved, but that's actually abstracted away in, say, PyTorch, where you just do dot backward and you zero out the gradients and you do backward. It's very easy. So we think that it is very possible for students of any age, middle and high school students in that age range to pick up these AI concepts very easily. And we've seen success in, for example, in personally, I've had the opportunity to work with mentors from the Julia programming language, and I was able to pick up some things about differential equations. So we really believe that anyone can do the same and just learn along the way.
Yeah, totally agree. And there's a question from Dr. A. So what would be your initial plan to keep AI code in more sustainable and rooted in Hong Kong or moving around the world?
So in terms of sustainability, right now we rely quite heavily on sponsorships and donations. However, in the future, we might offer some paid courses to allow people to learn to get so that we're giving them we're helping educate them while sustaining this nonprofit. So and also for now we will be rooted in Hong Kong, but we also have some global chapters.
For example, we have chapter leaders from India and in America, and numbers are increasing every day also. So
Yes.
we hope that we can bring AI to everyone all around the world, not just in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so please feel free to type your question in the chat room if you want to ask them. So
yeah, feel free to type any questions. Maybe I can ask one. Yeah, so I know Aaron is a very good coder. So maybe he is not aware of this AI code-in for now, but how for individual like Aaron, how he could help your venture at this moment?
Yes, so you guys can join as either student participants or as mentors if you're more accustomed, more familiar with AI concepts. So we understand that there's some difference between AI programming and say competitive programming. So people who are more familiar with AI can definitely help out as mentors. And we've had some high school students sign up as mentors as well. And if you're not too familiar and would love to learn more, feel free to sign up as a student and join our Slack. And yeah.
Yeah, I think we can keep one more question and then we can end the session tonight. Make it concise and we can have many more people to watch this wonderful clip later on the internet. So one last question. Everybody try your best to ask. We have a Fred from UST. I know he's here.
So there's a question from Ryan on YouTube. So so is there a preferred curriculum you prefer to student? Yeah.
Well, we hope that our curriculum will be comprehensive and so it won't be too challenging so we'll offer different levels. For example, beginner level would be some introductory things about Python or other languages such as Julia. And some more advanced would be, for example, PyTorch programming and some of the the basics of linear algebra. So that would be our plan for now.
So maybe yeah, maybe that's the last question of today. So yeah, thank you very much for your sharing, both of you, Ching Lam and Minnie. So and thank you all of our audience to join us our webinar today. And yeah, so
maybe I can do one quick summary. I just want to highlight that the two co-founders, they are very dedicated, I would say, young students. But you can see from their sharing tonight, they demonstrate their like a leadership skill and also dedication in learning AI, not just to themselves, but also training a lot more, supporting a lot more students around the world. And I think this is really amazing. I think Hong Kong young students like Minnie and Ching, I think we hope we could, through HoCHK, we can reach out to more educated in Hong Kong parents and business leaders. We hope to give them more support by all means. And tonight, as far as I know, we have people from Microsoft, with university students, with educator parents. and high school students. So please do and share this video with your network and friends. We hope that more people can watch this. Thanks a lot. I think this is the end for tonight. Thank you.